Hello Collective, welcome to the channel. We're going to tap right in and get you a storyline. It is, it's 12:12 p.m. on June 29th. I hope you're doing well. In the central energy, we've got the Ace of Pentacles. A cycle is about to begin anew, a new prosperous cycle. In the challenge position, we've got the Five of Wands in the reversed. So there's an ending to conflict. You're challenged by bringing an end to this conflict. Restoring peace. In the subconscious, Queen of Wands. Here. A little bit of fire. Determined to live her life. People trying to steal her life and her opportunity to have a stable foundation. In the recent past, the Ten of Cups, divine love. Dreams come true. Intentions and expectations. Trickery. So yeah, somebody's either got the expectation of getting away with something tricky, or somebody's intending to do something tricky. In the near future, we've got moving forward with the Three of Wands here. So they may be trying to come forward. The lens is being looked through. Is the Chariot. The Chariot. There's forward momentum. Departure in the environment. We've got the Six of Cups here. Nostalgia. Memories. Hopes and fears. Queen of Pentacles. And the outcome. Is the Hermit here. You're doing some research. Into the Two of Cups union. Marriage connections of the stars. And those who were involved in the Passion Project, Mr. Charming, is in sorrow over a loss. They've been working for the devil. and they lost their connection with you. Because the Queen of Cups, the mother energy, the loving, nurturing mother, she knows the truth. And so that's over. There's a painful ending here. There's a painful ending to somebody's financial security. They're being disconnected. So a new cycle, a new abundant cycle is beginning for a 10 of Cups union. Again, we've got the 10 of Cups. It's in the central energy. It's in the recent past. It's bringing about a lot of abundance. We've got the Emperor here. Bringing peace, challenged by bringing peace, ending conflict. Eight of Cups reversed. Somebody's got a fear of change. They still want to fight. They don't want to, they're afraid of this change. They're trying one more time. We've got avoiding and ending conflict, but then we've got them, they got a fear of change. So yeah, you're dealing with ending conflict with those who have a fear of change. They don't want things to change, but you want to get it over with. The Queen of Wands is here, very courageous, determined to live her life. She's there with the Hierophant. And in the recent past, we've got the 10 of Cups, blissful relationship with the High Priestess. The expectation here is that there will be trickery and fraud. Proposals. Trickery and fraud. Proposals. Prince Charming. We've got moving forward. There's dishonest proposals coming in. You know that's coming in. So you're moving forward, and again, we've got the Chariot here. Moving forward, there's an overseas opportunity. You're about out of here. And in the lens it's looking through is the Chariot again. And we've got the 7 of Cups. There could be a lot of opportunities, some wishful thinking. You might be daydreaming about everything that you're going to be able to do. We've got the 6 of Cups here. Nostalgia. And peace. So there could be, you're thinking about peace. You're thinking about a time when it was balanced and harmonious. Queen of Pentacles is here. A maternal instinct. And again, we've got, she might be dealing with the history. Could be a mother figure from history, from a previous life. And we've got the Hermit here, shining a light on things. Making difficult decisions regarding the inheritance. So a light is being shined on everybody. These difficult decisions are being made regarding the inheritance, like what everybody has coming to them. The divine stated, he who embodies the essence of the sun, and when he speaks, it reverberates through the soul and makes you want to leap out of your body. He's got all authority, and he said that they will get what they deserve. Everybody's going to get what they deserve. Heavenly Father. And again, we've got the Lovers here. The strength of two together are making preparations. The Three of Wands is out here twice then. So you're moving forward. You got your Chariot. You're about ready to get out of here. And there is a release. It could be the Empress is released, is letting go. See, some people may be seeing things differently than before regarding this Empress. She's very strong and she's got a new beginning based in truth. She knows the truth about this trickery, about this fraud. And there's union, love, and balance with the Two of Pentacles here. Togetherness and a settling of the energy. And this is a completion of this cycle. We're darn near done. You've got a whole bunch of new opportunity here, and somebody is in a freaking despair over your travel plans. You're leaving. And they're in a Ten of Swords painful ending, and they've got scarcity here on their foundation for all of the conflict that they were bringing to you. They're having negative thoughts, or they are losing their ability to see, their ability to do magic. In another reading a couple days ago, that came out as though the magic was being removed from people. They're not going to be able to do that anymore. This is due to the diligence of the sun energy. So there's a rebirth. You've developed a lot of skills. You're shining brighter than ever before. And there is a disconnection from the crap that caused you to need to learn those skills. And the Three of Cups celebration, your homecoming. So there is a homecoming. This is going to happen very, very soon. And these folks who were moving against you are experiencing a financial loss. They've lost you and they're losing everything. They say that whoever you are, like, you're the star of the show every time. And it's like, I don't know why this continues looping around and you have to continue going through this kind of crap. It's like people need to be tested. Well, you've been tested apparently over and freaking over again, and I don't understand why you need to go through more tests. I mean, you know, there's always improvement. There's always, you know, rising ever higher, gaining more light, more wisdom, and all of that. But man, there comes a time when you just need a freaking vacation. And you need to get away from all these jackwagons that despise you. You know, a person can only take so much freaking stress from these impulsive, lazy F-boys coming in with false contracts. We've got the Star here. So there's an abundant opportunity here with the Ace of Pentacles. You got the Ten of Cups here too. Divine love, blissful harmony, a total loving and supportive system. We've got the Emperor here, who is a respected leader. He's offering protection. He's very disciplined and in control of this foundation. Page of Swords. There's vigilance. Vigilance. There might be a lot of talk going on. There might be a lot of communication with the youngers regarding this Ten of Cups union. We need to reach peace. There needs to be peace. We need to avoid conflict, but somebody's afraid of change. Knight of Wands. They're afraid of change. This Knight of Wands wants to come in and be charming. We've got the Queen of Wands here, determined to live her life. She's independent. And the Hierophant is here dealing with a dictator, an oppressor, some brutal controlling person. Someone you trust is controlling or dealing with this brutalizer. We've got the Ten of Cups here. So divine love with the High Priestess, it looks like. Same cycle, it looks like. We've got a Queen of Pentacles here who appears to be in an Eight of Cups disappointment. They failed. There's history behind the Temperance energy here, and this Queen of Pentacles has history. So it's fraud and trickery, which is this Knight of Cups is coming forward with false offers of love. They're in extreme regret. They're hoping that that you will help them. You're moving forward. You're in your Chariot. You've got some overseas opportunity. There could be some kind of expansion. There could be a particle event. It's one of those, it's a critical mass. So that there was a critical mass and a splitting of the nuclei. It's like there's a particle event that's going to happen, which is going to relocate people around the globe, perhaps. A mass teleportation event. It's causing a tower. It's causing a tower for somebody. We've got the Hierophant and a tower. The Hierophant's bringing a tower. You're in your Chariot. There's lots of choices here, lots of opportunities. Nine of Pentacles, life of luxury. Lots of opportunities. There's history here for the Temperance angel. Yeah. There's a Seven of Pentacles reversed here. You are recuperating. You're taking a break with the Four of Swords energy here. You're taking a break from those people who lacked growth. They didn't grow. They're lazy. They're mean. You're recuperating from that crowd. We've got a Queen of Pentacles here regarding this history. Is in a Two of Pentacles energy. We're trying to maintain balance. Juggling life. Juggling you. Juggling everybody. The Hermit is here shining a light on things. Making difficult decisions about the wealth. And we've got the Seven of Swords in the upright. Cheating, scheming, scammers. Difficult decisions being made. We've got a lot of lying, cheating, fraudulent, hateful people trying to gain access to this. And they're wearing the face, the identity of innocence. And they're not innocent at all. The bloodline, the thought process, the mental, they have no empathy. This bloodline, whatever it is. We got a King of Wands here who is a natural leader. He's very loyal and he's got a victory here. He knows the truth about things and there's going to be a celebration for the Four of Wands. He knows the truth. There will be a celebration, Four of Wands, and it's a very strong, loving union with the temperance angel and the high priestess here, who was so severely betrayed last time. There is a celebration here with the Three of Cups that this is over. The illusions and the deceit are over. There's a death to that stuff, and you have a new beginning, a new innocent beginning. You got another, or an abundant beginning here. There's divine love, total love and support. The Emperor is here talking with the pages of swords, trying to get them ready, trying to make preparations. Use your head. He's trying to get them to use their head. Let's talk about it. End this conflict, but they want to try one more time. They have a fear of change. There's a Knight of Wands here that's trying to be Prince Charming, and a Knight of Cups up there too, wanting to bring in a fraudulent love offer to somebody. We've got imagination. They're having a fantasy. They're stuck in a fantasy. Queen of Wands is here, courageous and determined to live her life. She's supported by the Hierophant here, who is dealing with this dictator, this oppressive control freak, this brutalizer. Family. And their family. So the Hierophant's dealing with this dictator and their family. Their brutal family. This is an end. The Spirit said last night that this bloodline is over. It's done. It's being removed. There's new divine love here. New family trees coming up for the High Priestess. There's a Queen of Pentacles here who is disappointed. Whatever they tried to do, they failed, and they're in a nightmare. They tried to steal this High Priestess's pathway, and they failed. They're in a nightmare. We've got fraudulent proposals coming forth from a King of Cups, or a Knight of Cups, excuse me. He's in extreme regret. He's really hoping that somebody will offer love to him when he has proven himself to be just a gigolo. It's a false offer of love. It's dishonest. He's got a whole network of friends here. He wants to be friends. You're moving forward. You're in your chariot, and the Hierophant is bringing a disaster to this family. They're in a tower. They're being renovated. They are being dismantled. It's time. It could have been a scheduled plan. You're in your chariot here. You got some wishful thinking. There's lots of opportunities. You got the Nine of Pentacles. You're successful. You're going to have a life of luxury coming up. You might have a luxurious home. But we've got a mask here. Deception. There's some kind of deception here. Somebody's pretending. Somebody's trying to cast an illusion. They want to take part in your Nine of Pentacles. They're wearing masks. And there are some of these people coming up in the astral, in the dream state, and they're hoping to be accepted. They're casting illusions, hoping to take part in this luxurious lifestyle so that they can then continue to pollute and infect minds and hearts with their magic and their warring, conflicting ways. There's history here. There's innocence for this temperance angel. They have been historically innocent. They've not done anything wrong. They need to take a break and recuperate, because they've got a lot of jackwagons out here who did not grow. They spent all their time trying to destroy the reputation and the life of the earth angels. They're impatient, lazy. We've got a Queen of Pentacles here with a history of juggling life. Sweet dreams. Maybe they got priorities. This could be two separate Queen of Pentacles. This could be a doppelganger of this Queen of Pentacles. Take it as it resonates. We've got, you're shining a light here with the Hermit card on you're making difficult decisions regarding the Ten of Pentacles wealth. You've got deceitful people here trying to steal from you. They're indulgent little liars, wearing masks, causing illusions, working hard. Or it could be that your alliances are working very, very hard to make certain that your environment is stable and that you are okay. We've got those who are bringing you natural disasters are being rejected. You're relaxed. You're collaborating with people. You're at peace. You've got backup. And those who accepted bribes to bring conflict to you, they're in overload. They're embarrassed. This bully is embarrassed. They're overloaded, overwhelmed, and they're frightened because you persevered. You were blind, flying blind. You had no idea what was going on, and you persevered through the challenges anyway. They had you at such a disadvantage, and still you rose, and you came into your reward. At your lowest, weakest, most vulnerable state, hundreds, if not thousands, of this particular family could not remove you from you. And now they're disappointed, they're in isolation, and they're sick because you are the gift. They can't sleep. They're having stressed out mental bodies. They got all kinds of crap going on in their head. They need help. They need mercy because death is knocking on their door. They caused danger, or they're in danger now. They were trying to destroy this sweet love. And actually unalive it. They wanted it gone. They need to use caution. These are third-party enemies. These are little hoe bags. They F people for a living and for chaos. They get paid for it. And now they're bound to every commitment that they ever made. They thought that they were going to trap you, but instead they trapped themselves. You've reached your goals. You're not listening to this crap anymore. You're not listening to a damn thing they said. You're like, stop, get out. You're not welcome here. And they're like, kids. And it's like, yeah, well, these are past kids. These are the kids of aliens or ETs before they interbred with the human being. They're not kids. They're little people, but they're not human. They're coming in. They want to stay in the garden. They want to remain benefiting from your presence. They want to continue with their interbreeding program, and you're kicking them out. You're like, cast away, get out. You have triumphed over this coach, this bad teacher. You have a vow here. You made a vow to live and learn, and you succeeded in that. And these ones are furious here. They're absolutely furious because this is a conclusion. You have got your gain. You're a good, kind, moral human being. You've earned a lot of merit. Your reputation speaks for itself. Not that you tried to create one, but the fact that you survived through this drama that everybody else can see but you. You survived the history of this dominator, dictator. There's evidence here of their strategy, mind reading, driving people into unsavory circumstances for themselves and for others. And they're confused because the sweethearts reached the top of the hill. They're at the top of that mountain. They've reached their goals, and they've got good news here. There is a new family tree. There is a new family tree. Somebody's praying that you will accept their apology and forgive them. They are suffering loss. They could be losing their pets, their family, their house, whatever, because they cursed eternal love. They put a curse on eternal love, and now they are eternally cursed when it comes to love. They did it to themselves. There's a promise of confinement. That's what they wanted for you, and it's what they're receiving. Your gifts or your intentions shall be your gift, is what the divine stated. They are sick over your business, your land, your connection, and your what you got going on, the halo. You're a high value person. You've got high vibing energy. You're connected to the divine. You're known to be a high value person, and they're separated from your love and from your peace and from your care. You no longer care about them. This family, whatever this family is, they are brutalizers, schemers, scammers, all for a buck, man, hurting the blessing, stealing the savings, robbing them. And now they want to compromise. They're protesting and they want to compromise. It's crazy. Their mind. See, they were sending disturbances to your mind with magic, and now it's all backfiring on them. They have to deal with it now. They have to wear it. They have to overcome the challenges that they forced you to overcome. They probably won't make it. The prideful ones are entering into their fate. They can see it with the oracle cards. They fell into a trap, and justice is being served. They did it to themselves, and I'm just hoping that that you do not have to do another round with this. The Divine Feminine in one of her aspects said that this is your last lifetime cycle, so it doesn't sound like you're going to have to do it again. You know, apparently you've been moving through these cycles for centuries, and there's a promise that you don't have to do it anymore. You're being extracted out of this circumstance, and you're going to go into another. There's a whole new bloodline that's coming out of this. This old bloodline is being eliminated. Of course, they're very mad. They want to take out this high priestess. But you've got the Hierophant here, right next to this Queen of Wands energy, and you've got the Hierophant here bringing them a tower. The High Priestess will have her divine love. They have robbed her while siphoning her and giving her nothing but tower after tower after tower, dressing this Queen of Pentacles up in her essence, and while they pretend to be them. They're in despair. They're in despair. You've got an abundant opportunity here, a divine love that's total love and support. The Emperor is here. He's a respected leader. He's talking to the younger masculines. He's trying to prepare them for this thing. We've got servant. The challenge is to end conflict and bring peace, but somebody's got a fear of change. This is this Prince Charming, Knight of Wands. They're all up in their head. They're fantasizing about a love connection. They're coming in confident. They won't give up. Look, it's a freaking enemy. A freaking enemy coming in with their wand, acting all charming. It's an enemy. Queen of Wands is here, determined, and she's supported by the Hierophant, who is bringing, he's dealing with this dictator, this brutalizer, this controlling family. He's dealing with them, and we got Merchant. They could be, well, they're the new servant, is what they are. They're the ones who will do the work so that you don't have to, just like you've been doing in this previous cycle. As a High Priestess, you've been doing all the work while this person goes around and spends the money like they are all that, and they never were. These ones are getting sold into slavery. They're going to go get assigned a number. Their wages will be taxed. You know, they'll make a certain, out of everything, out of every dollar that they make, they'll only get to keep a fraction of it. You've got divine love here for the High Priestess. We've got a Queen of Pentacles here who is disappointed. They failed to take over this connection for this High Priestess. They've got the news. They've got a letter here. They're in a freaking nightmare over it. We've got a Knight of Cups coming forward with a fraudulent love offer. They're in extreme regret over working with this network. They're in extreme regret working with this network, this team. It could be that your team is in celebration. They want to come forward with a fraudulent love offer so that they can take part in that. You're moving forward with the Three of Wands here. There's an overseas opportunity. It could be that you're going to be relocated. There could be some kind of a particle event. You're in the Chariot here, and the Hierophant is demolishing this bloodline. It's time. It was a scheduled event. They were really trying to swap places with you. They're in melancholy. They're in melancholy here because you grew your wings. You've got your wings. You graduated, and this is your last lifetime story. You never have to go through this cycle with them again. You're free. You're really free. Of course, I don't know what the new cycle is going to be like. I'm hoping that these masculines and feminines that are coming together have learned their lessons about betrayal and whoring and, you know, all that other stuff. I'm hoping that they actually are loyal to their connections and their vows. We've got the Chariot here. Somebody's causing illusions. They want to take part in this luxurious lifestyle. They've got their mask on. Yeah, they've got masks on and they're wanting this fortune. So they're being very deceptive. They've got their eyes on this fortune. They're casting illusions with the Seven of Cups. They want to get aboard the Chariot. It could be that you have a victory over the illusionists. You're coming into a life of luxury. The fortune that these mask wearers were trying to take. We're going to get more clarification. We've got history here for the Temperance Angel. You've always been innocent. It's time for you to recuperate and take a break, to heal from these lazy, lack of growth, stagnated individuals and collectives. They're sick. The lazy people, greedy people, they're sick. Because you're resting. They didn't grow. They didn't grow. They have no light in them. We've got the Queen of Pentacles here, looking at history, juggling life, and we've got sweet dreams. Okay, so again, this is the same Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles, failed attempt, they're in a nightmare, they're suffering, they've got the letter, they've got documentation. Queen of Pentacles looking at the history of juggling people, ups and downs, juggling life, and what? Sweet dreams. In order to get a sweet dream, in order to gain some life of comfortability. This is a pleasure seeker so this person was in the service of providing pleasure to all these little hoe bags, energy harvesting, sacral energy out, like a dream lover kind of crap. So this was a pleasure seeker in service, opening doors to the sweet dreams of other people, and they would come in and sex them up and get that energy out, and then they would use that energy to gain pleasure. They're going to prison. They're going to prison. You're shined a light on all of this. You know what this person was doing. They were dressing up as this high priestess. You're making tough decisions regarding the wealth here. We've got thief, cheat, scammer, deceit, indulgence. They're wearing a mask. They want to come in. They want to take part in it. You got to pull them all out. Look, we've got lover, indulgent in their lover, deceitful, lying, cheating, scamming lovers. They want to come in as a lover, but they're a thief, priest. Look, lover, thief, indulgent lover, thief. A priest needs consolation. They're praying for forgiveness from the Lord. This priest, oh, they're praying for forgiveness from the Lord. They got the message. They know that they're false. This is a false person. They lied on everybody. They prostituted the mother energy. And now they're going on a journey. There's death here. And there's a widower. There's a widower and foe. So this foe is going to lose their spouse. They're going on a journey, a spiritual journey. There's death here. And they're getting the messenger. They have lied. They're going on they're a false person. They've lied. They're going on a journey. They're going to take the journey of death. And so will their spouse. They are foes. They are foes to people who had hope that they would be a friend, innocent people. Now they're suffering a misfortune because there's a young woman in love and she's going to be having a wedding. She is the wife of this one, the Lord. She's the wife of the Lord. These ones came after the wife of this high priestess, wife of the Lord. They fouled her so hard. They filled her up with blame and shame and so much orgy magic, you know? This person has got high morals. They've probably been celibate for years because of this false freaking love offer. Bullshit. Nobody has any more time for the recovery period required after an engaging with one of these people. Not going to do it anymore. They went after the Lord's wife. They vilified her. They shat on her. They spewed their cum all over her like she was a whore. They said that she owed them a decent life. She owed them a pleasurable existence. She was the gift of God. She was here to make their life better, and she better, by golly, do it. And they shit on her. They were full of debauchery, going out doing orgies, and they dumped all that nastiness onto her and made her carry it and claimed she was that. They hurt her so bad. An oracle, a divinely connected person, they cut her connections to the Hierophant. They cut her connections to the Lord. They cut her connections to everybody while they were infiltrating, leeching off of, parasiting, and claiming to be her, running around as little miscreants, debauchery, horror bags, using her energy to hurt people that she loved, wearing a mask, claiming to be her. Doing horrible things to people in the spiritual realms as her. She's got a billionaire status. She was here to serve people. This emperor has got a billionaire status, known worldwide. This whole thing, she could have been here to teach people how to take care of themselves, and rather than learn how to take care of themselves, she forced her to serve them and take care of, and the starseed, to serve them. They did the very, very least. They remained in this black energy and they dumped it all on her and expected her. They buried her under that. These enemies, simps, willing to do the most for somebody who cares the least. They hurt this mother figure. And probably this emperor too. It's so sad because they have destroyed the reputations of so many good men and women with this behavior. They have destroyed trust. Tinfoil hat. These people are conspiracy theorists. They were liars. They were running around spreading stories that were lies. brutal, controlling, oppressive dictators. They're being sold into slavery. They owe this merchant. The Hierophant is now selling them to the merchant, or doing something with this family to the merchant. They are being eliminated. This is the end of that bloodline. That was a message I got last night. Look, she's triggered. She's so freaking triggered. She's in a nightmare because this high priestess is in her divine love connection. Look, shadow. She's not a demon. She wasn't eaten by the demon. They couldn't feed her to the black hole soul that they cherish so much. You've got a Knight of Cups coming in with a false love offer. He's in extreme regret. You're moving forward. You got the Three of Wands energy. You're in your chariot. The Hierophant is moving forward with this. He's delivering a tower to this family. It's on the schedule. They're in melancholy because you've gained your wings here, and they're being told to stay in their own lane. They got to leave you alone. But they're stalking somebody here, and they're stalking somebody in the United States. The state Washington was mentioned. They're not going to let it go. They're going to continue doing whatever it is they feel they need to do. They're discussing apologies, because apologies has always worked. Turn the other cheek, love your neighbor and, forgive and all this stuff, which is what the meek one has been doing over and over and over again. Well, they stabbed her in the heart in the astral. How many times did you sunbeams, you temperance angels, you stars, and how many times did they sacrifice you in the astral while you were living your life? They never got their hands dirty in the 3D, but they did all their work in the spiritual realms. And I know I took many, many blades. This is being announced. It's being announced. This mask wearer is here trying to cause illusions. To take part in the Nine of Pentacles fortune, life of luxury. It's being announced. So we've got there are people out there, and the terrible thing about it is they're pushing forward the innocents, the ones who are supposedly children, and then this high priestess, she pushed one out the other day or last night. She's like, stop that. And the thing is that this isn't a child. It's not a regular being. It's not innocent. It's not pure. It's not loving. And it was being presented by a feminine as though it was. And this feminine, when the high priestess pushed them away, she snarled and she says, well, that doesn't sound like I love you. And it's like, well, she does. And she said, I don't love everybody. And that's because these people, they're not loving. They're brutal. They smile in your face while they slit your belly open, and they're so freaking happy that you let them do it. You let them come into your space. You gave them access, which is permission to do whatever they want in your energetic field. And ever in your environment, you forgave, you let them in, you showed kindness, and they showed you brutality, laughing about it like it was so fun. So the Temperance Angel is taking a break. They're recuperating from the history of lazy, childish people, trolls, who did not grow at all. They stagnated and they loved it. They sat there in the still waters infested with larvae, biting, sucking the blood out of everything. Those mosquito larvae that hang out in the stagnant waters, that was their environment. They're trolling you. They could be trolling you. They're sick. They're lazy. They're disappointed. They're getting impatient. Yeah, so we've got a Queen of Pentacles here regarding the history, balancing ups and downs, other people's lives in the sweet dreams. She was helping pleasure seekers. She offered a service to these pleasure, that Mickey Mouse making Swiss cheese kind of crap. And I say that way because I woke one night in a sacral energetic harvest situation, listening to these ones talking about pleasure. She offered a service. She led these youngers to the womb and the sacral energy of single or married women and men in the bed, and they would harvest out that energy and then use that energy wearing their signature to fuel their nasty magic. They're going to have to learn to take care of themselves. They targeted people who took care of themselves, and then they nastied up their energy. They treated them like a prostitute. These dream lovers, fashion witches. So you're shining a light on people. You're making difficult decisions regarding the Ten of Pentacles inheritance. There's indulgent people here who were stealing, cheating, scamming through love connections. They stole happiness, vital force, life. There is a priest here who's praying to the Lord or needs consolation from the Lord. They came after the high priestess, who is the Lord's wife, and he's taken the land back. He's taken the land back. These people are getting kicked out of the garden, and they're getting kicked out of the, I don't even know where they're going, but the whole family line, it's the end of this family line, is what the curator and his buddies were saying. It's the end of this family line. It is done for. They have nothing to gain. They will never get anything. They were all about trauma bonds. They hurt people. They hurt people like high priestesses and empresses and higher, these higher people. They would get them as a child, and then they would trauma bond with them, and then they would give them a life of, servitude. You do as I say, and I'll give you a little treat. Keeping them bound in their minds. And now they can go get effed. You know all about this fashion witch. You have empathy. You can see what they're doing. You feel what they're doing. You know the magic. When they send magic to you, you can feel it. You sense it. They're looking for a life of privilege, and they're out there, this feral person or people, love bombing and gaslighting people. They were effing people for a living. They were prostituting themselves and putting that nasty energy on high moral, good value people. Energetically, in the night, as they slept in their bed by themselves, most likely, they were sending in these little pleasure seekers to dump loads onto them. Oracle. It's being announced. They did the very least. They wanted the most. They tried to siphon and harvest off of this unicorn energy and then walk around in it as though they were something special. Two very different entities. This star seed is an influencer. And this cult leader is jealous. The vampire thinks this person is a bitch. So there's a red flag here. This narcissist wants to snack. So they're planning on doing something here. They're making plans to dispatch this person to snack on its life force of a legend. A starseed, freaking empath, oracle, unicorn, legend. They're needless feeders, and they've been calling people needless feeders for a long time when it's they who are. And then they've been calling people non-essential. These very ones that they've been feasting on and vilifying and polluting with their nasty behaviors and their magic tricks. I don't care if they hate me. I don't. And you're not required to love everybody. There's certain species out there that don't have any love in them. You can't love somebody into a state of love. It has to be their choice. And they've already made it very, very clear what their choice is. Their choice is to hurt people and trauma bond with them, to try to destroy them. That's where they get their energy, this low vibrational pain energy. They're low vibrational beings. That's the energy they feed on. And when you're in your North Node energy, when you're happy and you're connected to Source Divine, they can't make their stuff stick to you. You're too high vibing. You're too happy. You need to be, what did she say? You dim the house, or you do something to lower the house or dim the house. And that's what they do. They get in the house, the temple, the flesh suit, the energy within it, the emotional body, the mental body, and all that. And then they cause a trauma, and they lower the frequency, and they get you into woe is me, I'm not lovable, you know, everybody hates me kind of crap. And then they start throwing their shit at you, and it sticks. But you didn't go there. So you've got an Ace of Pentacles, divine love union here. The Emperor is here talking with the youngers, trying to get them ready. What? We got servant, billionaire servant. Somebody is a billionaire servant. They're trying to prepare them, make arrangements, use your head. You're dealing with a billionaire who is here in service to you. They don't owe you anything. They're just here to help you elevate. And rather than elevate, they decided to suck off the tit and stagnate in still waters filled with mosquito larvae that came out and fed on everything. They did not upkeep their own waters. They did not upkeep their own lives. They handed over the authority to some low vibrational vampire, and they said life is good. That's all they ever wanted for themselves, is what this low vibrational vampire offered. They didn't have any dreams. We've got imagination. So he could be trying to, you know, get them to think about what they could become. What, you know, elevate, learn. What do you see in this person that excites you, that you admire? And what can you do to become that? Not to siphon it out of this person and wear up like a freaking coat, but what can you do to become that which you desire to be? So the challenge is to bring an end to this fighting, but somebody has a fear of change. They're stuck in their head. They want to come forward. They want to get a Knight of Wands charming sexual adventure. They're fantasizing about it. This is an enemy, a simp, who does the most for somebody, who cares the very least. They have no empathy for anybody. They're an enemy, looking for a freaking sexual connection. They need a relationship to tap into your celestial ship, your energy, and everything that comes with it. The Queen of Wands is here, very determined to live her life, supported by the Hierophant, who's dealing with this dictator, this control freak family, this whole family who created conspiracy theories regarding this High Priestess, this Emperor. You're a being of love, and you're releasing all the negative energy. Peace will be restored. The Hierophant, the Most High God, is eliminating this entire family. Their bloodline is done. Peace will be restored. No more conspiracy theories. No more rumors. No more bearing false witness against highly moral, highly spiritual and sanctified people, closely connected to Source Divine. They casted so many illusions by going in as you lay in your bed and you're dreaming and you wake up and you said, I didn't have any dreams last night. Well, that's because Agent Smith was in your spirit, walking around, sacrificing people's dogs, ruining their business, burning their vehicles, doing whatever they could to hurt people while you were innocently in your bed getting rest so you could go to work the next day. They were in your dream state as you. Agent Smith in your Holy Spirit. So there is a blissful relationship and divine love for the High Priestess. High morals, high value, sacred. There's a Queen of Pentacles here who's feeling disappointed. They failed to replace this High Priestess. They're suffering a nightmare. They're highly triggered. They got a letter. They received a letter. They failed. Oh, death. They might have gotten a death sentence. They might have gotten a death sentence for what they've done. You've got a trickster here, a thief, somebody who's very deceptive, acting strategically, 7 of Swords, with a Knight of Cups energy. They're coming in with a fraudulent love offer. They're in extreme regret for working with this network. It could be that your friends are here in celebration. You're not a demon. They couldn't feed you to the demon. Whatever these people, this black hole soul that these ones have been feeding light-bearing people to, they could not do it to you. So there's a celebration. You're the high priestess. The Hierophant is right here, and he's out here twice. He's bringing a tower. He's dealing with this dictator, this brutalizing control freak, and his entire bloodline. It's over, or it will be. You're courageous. You care for the temple that houses your soul. It's difficult these days because the entire food supply is toxic. They put poison and chemicals and everything, and the flesh temple isn't built to run on chemicals. You do the very best you can with the food supply and the medical supply that you have. You're very courageous. You have inner strength, great inner fortitude. And you're in your Queen of Wands energy. You're very determined to live this life. You have a very distinct zest for life. You're not willing to give it up. You're not just going to roll over because somebody caused you to be afraid. You're going to breathe into it. And you're going to move forward anyway, despite that. Because it's ridiculous. Freaking bullies in the highest degree. Now they're going to find out what it's like. The Most High God is here delivering a catastrophe to them, and they won't survive. They're going to be going to this merchant. They're the new fodder. They're the new slave. That whole family line. Humor. So you're moving forward with the 3 of Wands energy. You're in your chariot. You've got a victory over this. You're departing. The Hierophant is here bringing a complete upheaval and disaster to this family and their foundation. There's a scheduled time. It's a scheduled time. This may have been planned. And months ago, over a year ago, I got a message that the old Dominion was here to make certain that the people, that these ones honored their promises. And when they did the research to find out how these ones had been managing the previous cycle, oh man. All because you survived. And you were able to present the truth of your Akashic, not the illusionary Akashic that this fraudulent Queen of Pentacles was carrying around while she was pretending to be you. They're in a tower. They're sad because you've got your wings. They're being told to stay in their own lane. You're choosing to focus on the lighter side of life, and you got your wings. You're like, I'm not going to war with you. You were very meek. You did not retaliate. You did not grow militant. You did not want war. You may have cried a lot. You suffered a lot. But you still got up every morning and fixed yourself some food. You went to work on time, most likely, and you worked every day, earning your pay to pay your rent and your bills on time like a good citizen, despite all of this crap that was going on in your life. You took it and you took it and you took it. And now you don't have to do it again. Divine Mother in one of her aspects says this is your last lifetime story. They can't make you stay, and you won't ever have to come back. Your wealth and your abundance and this divine love that resides in you with the holy connection to Source Creator, the Hierophant, is going elsewhere. There's apparently a whole nother universe out there. See, these ones had trapped high priestesses and empresses that had the ability to create timelines and open portals and such, and they hijacked their minds and their lives, and then they buried them, and then they were pulling off of these abilities while they were dressing up their fraudulent people, utilizing those skills to do horrible things. You're in your chariot here. You've got somebody wearing a mask. They got wishful thinking. They want to take part in your luxurious lifestyle, your fortune. This is being broadcast. So there's podcast. I want to expand in consciousness and my awareness. So now they want to expand in consciousness and awareness, but they're wearing a mask. This is an illusion. They're wearing a mask. This is an illusion. They don't really want to expand in consciousness and awareness. They just want to take part in the luxurious lifestyle that comes from doing such things. Their intention is to create more havoc and more chaos in the minds of the children that will be birthed in this new chapter for this particular new bloodline. They're a troll. They're trolling you hard. They're lazy. They did not grow. They're sick about the fact that you're in your temperance energy and you're making plans for the future. You're balanced, you're rested, you're recuperating. You're taking a break for them. You don't have to deal with them anymore. They are stalking you. They don't want you to move on. They want to alter the audio of your videos and they're talking about the documentary. So the storyline that you've been telling, they want to alter the audio. They want to get the video and the pictures, and they want to create a new channel and catfish you. They want to alter the audio, and they want to make it seem as though you said something other than what you said. This is their plan. They're trolling you real hard right now. They're sick about it. They want to be friends. They don't want to be friends. They're not offering friends. They didn't grow. They're so out of your league, or you are so out of their league. They don't have any business in your presence. They did not do the work. The only work that they put in is how to be the biggest mean person they could possibly be. That does not earn a seat at your table. You got the Queen of Pentacles here, looking at the history here of juggling life. She was selling sweet dreams to pleasure seekers for profit. She was selling the sweet dreams and the midnight energy of those people who care for themselves, those people who are balanced. They would come in, give you an they would harvest that energy out of this balanced, self-caring person, and then they would go get benefit from it. They would dress up in the energy, and they would they would get gain from it somehow. Pleasure seeking freaking Mickey Mouse. So you're shining a light on it here with the Hermit card. You're making difficult decisions are being made with this 10 of Pentacles inheritance. You've got deceitful, thieving, lying, cheating scammers out here wanting a life of indulgence. They're coming forward as a lover, but they are actually a thief. You got the Lord here and a priest who is needing consolation. You're taking the land back. The Lord is taking the land back. This priest has been found out to be a thief, and he's got hell to pay with the Lord. Yep. Self-esteem. You possess gifts of the soul that benefit you and others, and they were coming after you, trying to steal the gifts of your soul, trying to steal the land that you were here to dwell upon and have a business upon and help people with. They wanted, they wanted the land and the money and all of that, but they didn't want to help anybody. This is your purpose, and they were running around as though they were you, but they have no capacity to be you. They don't know what to do because you are successful. They have to accept the things that they cannot change. You are a being of love, and you know that there's no greater goal than to love. They were trying to blame you for their own bad doings. They're worried because you are a being of gratitude, and you're thankful for all of the crap that they put you through too, because the curator is telling his interdimensional leaders or whatever that he screwed up, he messed up, he triggered this awakening by overdoing their brutality. onto people who are of service. Those people who are here to improve the lives of people, they really overdid the brutality, and they triggered this, like they snapped out of it. Like they snapped and they snapped out of it. Like whatever this illusion or fantasy or delusion that they were trapped in, they pushed the brutality and the energy harvesting and the black energy, you know, transmutation that they were forcing you to undergo all the time, the heart squeezing, the mind squeezing, the little cuts in the brain that they were doing, all this stuff. They overdid it, and you snapped out of the illusion. You literally snapped. But you didn't go crazy. You just woke up. And they're in grief now because they have to surrender their need to control what? Your trust with adversity. You're a happy person. You know that being happy means you're on the right path. And this is what you strive for. You self-care. You maintain your inner harmony. You focus on the lighter side of life. You concentrate on bringing balance to your house, your temple. And these ones are guilty of pride. And they're being denied access. They have failed. They have failed because you persevered. And because you persevered, you were able to bring forward all of the knowledge necessary to the Lord, to the Most High God, and they're effecting a change right now, calling judgment on what these ones did to love. These envious ones are in doubt. They were trying to stop your purpose, the purpose of an honest person. You have a purpose here to free people and their minds of this dictator, oppressor. Introduce them to their soul song, their heart song, their freedom to wander the freaking land and smell the flowers. You did it all on your own. You had no support, but you know you did, because when you're alone, you're never alone. The Most High was always there with you. You're attracted to people who serve the higher good. These relationships, and these ones are in fear. They're in fear over your discipline. You're an abundant, limitless being who can manifest whatever you want. They tried to turn you into a militant person full of malice who wanted to destroy life. They wanted to convince God and the Lord that you were incapable of managing yourself. They put you through so much brutality and so much stress. Now they're wanting forgiveness. Now they're in regret. Because you were patient and you knew that all things happened in divine timing, and you waited and you waited and you waited, and you still did not grow angry or full of malice. You did exactly what the divine asked of you. You were patient and you persevered through the pain and the suffering without becoming that which was hurting you and trying to destroy you. If they don't have a relationship, see, this curator is saying that if they unalive you without having a relationship, that you'll just automatically go to wherever it is you're going to go. That's why they're sending in people with fraudulent love offers. They got to tap in. They got to get this relationship so that they can try to harness your energy and your gifts. They need your permission to have access. But we're so close to takeoff right now. That's just silly. That's just real silly. Abundant divine love. Yeah, so we got entertainment. I find your life amusing and your stories comical. Date. So somebody who is getting dates to entertain themselves are getting told goodbye. You're getting ready for a separation. There's somebody trying to talk. The Emperor is talking to the youngers, and he's like, look, you know, you can either be a servant with this family or you can get with it and grow. I don't know. He's talking about some kind of arrangement. He's making some kind of arrangements with the youngers. And some of them are stuck on this entertainment crap, right? We got safe space in the reverse. Somebody here, this servant, whoever this is, they do not have a safe space. They're not being offered a safe space. No more free rides. No more brutalization of those who are coming to make your life better and to offer you safety and security. No more of that. We've got check-in. So there's a challenge of ending the conflict. Somebody has a fear of change. They don't want to stop. They're in their head. They're in this fantasy. They're a Knight of Wands. They're coming forward, again, offering some passionate affair. This is an enemy, simp, who does the most for somebody who cares the least. They have no empathy for anybody, and they want to check in. They're trying to check in. They want to get into your energy. And they have to do it with sex. That's their motto. Queen of Wands is here, guarded by the Hierophant, who's handling this dictator, this controlling, brutalizing family, who created conspiracy theories regarding your existence. You're a high priestess energy here, temperance angel, wife of the Lord. And, you know, they say that the church is the bride. So I don't know. Take that as it resonates. You could be the literal wife of the Lord, or you could be a being of the collective that is the bride. Take it as it resonates. We've got envy. So this family created conspiracy theories about you, probably sold you into slavery with this merchant. You had to go be an indentured servant, right? They told lies about you out of envy. But you were a peaceful person. You're a being of love. All this negative energy is being released. Yeah, this people, they made up stories about you and convicted you of a crime and then sold you into slavery over and over and over again. But you survived this time and you came forth and you told the experience and you proved yourself. You're not who they said you were, man. I mean, you might have picked up some habitual patterns through all the karmic debt that you had to live through, life cycle after life cycle after life cycle. Eventually, some of that crap is going to wear off, you know. But you made the choice to remain inwardly harmoniously balanced, and you did whatever you could to do it as naturally as you could. They lied on you bad. You've got your divine love. You are a high priestess. You're a highly moral person. You've got this Queen of Pentacles here who failed. They failed in their attempt to be you. They're in a nightmare and they're triggered because they got a letter. And then we've got death here. There's death. And we've got death and collaboration. So they could have gotten the death sentence for collaborating against you. It could be that they and everybody that they collaborated with has received a death sentence. We've got a King of Cups coming in with a fraudulent love offer. He's in extreme regret. You and your friends are having a celebration. It could be that he's in extreme regret of working with this network and celebrating too early. They counted their eggs before they hatched. There is a celebration here. You're not a shadow demon. They could not feed you to this black hole soul because you took care of the physical temple that encompasses your soul and your spirit. You're very courageous. You have a tremendous amount of inner strength. And you laugh. You laugh. You focus on the lighter side of life. You're like, man, life is too damn short. I don't know when it's going to end, but I'm going to have a good time. It's like when you're under such an extreme amount of burden, eventually you kind of have to breathe into it and say, you know what? I'm going to go enjoy the sunshine at the waterfront today. I'm going to listen to a man play saxophone on the waterfront, and I'm going to buy myself a nice meal. I mean, you went and you did stuff to treat the inner divine who was withstanding such a brutal attack. And you wound up snapping out of it. You stopped focusing on the pain and you started focusing on treating your inner divine well. Enjoying life despite the brutality of it. Despite the whole world apparently hating you. Casting tinfoil hat conspiracy theories over your life with their words. Trying to bind you with lies. I mean, you're not perfect. Nobody is. And anybody who claims to be perfect is a damn liar and a fraud. There's no end to growth. Anybody who says they know it all is a liar. Look, grapevine. So you're moving forward. You got the Three of Wands here. You got an overseas opportunity. There could be some sort of a particle event. There's some nucleus splitting. I don't even know what's going to happen there. There's a harvesting of the energy. Now, I don't know if everybody's got new temples waiting for them, or if there's just going to be like a Star Trek teleportation particle event kind of a thing going on. I don't know. But you are moving forward with that. You got the Chariot here, so there's a victory and there is a departure. The Hierophant is bringing a tower to these people. They are in chaos. They are suffering a disaster. This is the end of their bloodline. And it's scheduled. There is a schedule. It's on the schedule. And they are in melancholy because you've gained your wings and they're being told to stay in their own damn lane. You're choosing to focus on the lighter side of life, and people are talking about it. There's a lot of gossip going on here. So there's a Chariot here. You got a victory again over these illusionists who were wearing masks trying to get into your life of luxury, to take part in your fortune. This is being podcast. It's being announced. This is only for people who have grown and expanded in consciousness and awareness. These ones have not. They are very unfriendly and they're hostile right now. They want to come forward and stalk somebody and unalive their flesh suit. Because this is the end of them. They have nothing to lose right now other than to do something in the 3D. And it could be that this particle event, this nucleus split, is from these ones saying, oh my gosh, we've got all our slaves here, right? And now they've got so many of them that are going to be free. Well, we gotta like do a particle event and then harvest their energy out and like re-trap them or something. I don't know. This is their solution, but they're dealing with the Most High God and the Lord here. There's memories here. You've always been innocent, Temperance Angel. It's time for you to heal and recuperate from this crap. And we've got these lazy, lack of growth trolls are disappointed. They're sick. They're in melancholy. They want to be friends, but their apologies aren't being accepted. No, they've proven themselves not to be friends. They go in, they act like friends, they act like lovers just so that they can feed you to their black hole soul and get some kind of a reward from their black energy god or whatever. Queen of Pentacles is here, looking at the history of juggling life, juggling other people's dreams and life while they slept in their bed, getting ready to go to work the next day. They were sending in dream lovers to harvest the sacral energy out of the temple for profit. They're going to prison because they were attacking people who cared for themselves, who were inwardly balanced, and they were harvesting out that energy and then using it to fuel their own life. These are very dark trolls who have not grown, and they were taking the energy out of other people in their dream state through a dreamtime love union, and they would use that energy to power their life as though they were balanced and harmonious and took care of themselves, but they never did. They were just rapists, unseen. And they're desperate. They're desperate now. This Queen of Pentacles is desperate, and so are all these pleasure seekers that she was doing business with, opening gates, opening doors to people who had psychic ability. She would say, oh, there's an open door right down there. Yeah, this is a nice one. Go down there and harvest that one. They made a freaking living off of prostituting the mother energy. The feminine energy, whether it be in a female body or a masculine body, take it as it resonates. So you're shining a light on it. There's difficult decisions being made regarding this 10 of Pentacles. You've got lying, cheating, thieving, scammers out here who are overindulgent, and they use love unions to steal from people. There's a priest here needing consolation from the Lord. He screwed himself up. The Lord is taking back the land, and he's giving it to people who possess gifts of the soul that benefit themselves and others. He's got his own unique perspective, and he is acting accordingly. He appreciates your unique perspective. He values your opinion. You have gifts of the soul that benefit you and others. The land is going back to you. And earlier, like months ago, the divine stated that the land was going back to the indigenous people, those who actually care about the land, those who actually utilize the gifts of their soul to bring healing and, peace to the world. Not these rapists freaking raping people in their dream state. Waking up, having an orgasm, that is rape. And they're curious, they want to know more, but they're mad at you and they're feeling very unhappy. They want you to feel as badly as they do. So they're going to come forward with a curiosity, but this is an imposter pretending that they are love and that they have grown. They want to travel to you. They want to make travel plans with you. They feel like you're a nuisance, but they feel obligated to associate with you because they need to be part of the future of this gift. They need a loan, so they're acting friendly. They're out of money. They need to take part in your life of luxury. They need to take part in the reward that you have earned through successfully surviving this crap. There's a tribe here who wants to be part of your health. They want to come in and they want to mess up your health. They want to find out, how did you do it? And how can they stop you from doing it next time and brutalize you even harder? They're uncertain because of what they've done in the past. They sabotage their own damn selves. You don't want to have anything to do with them. These are greedy people who are now trying to come and apologize. They followed bad advice. And they're getting bad news. The bad news is you're saying goodbye. You don't want to have anything to do with them. You don't care about them. You're not giving them anything. They need to stop trolling you. They need to stop coming up and forcing their way into your energy, grabbing onto you like they have a right to touch you, let alone speak your name. They used date night as entertainment, and there was date RAPing, I heard the other day, and they were told to clean up this mess. They hurt somebody because that's what they do. You are welcome. You're receiving a welcome. Your presence is appreciated. You're entering into a safe space, and you've got a new job. You might be teaching people as to how you overcame this. And you've got some mask-wearing people here trying to cause illusions to come into the territory so that they can learn all they can about what you know and what you did, so that they can take this back to their master and try to screw up your children that are going to be birthed in this new chapter. They want to deliberately manipulate people's perceptions of reality, and that's why they're trying to plant themselves on your chariot. So they need advice. They're certain they knew best. I hate to tell you so. So they got great news. They're certain they know the best, and this is a trick. They don't have any good advice. They're trolls who didn't grow. They need a big favor from you. You are the truth. They want to brag about something negative, or they are bragging about something negative, or they did brag about something negative, and now they need sage advice. The divine told them that they needed to seek wise counsel because their Savior didn't save them. They need to vent. They've been lying. They need to get it off their chest. This dishonesty. It could be that they're withholding information. Maybe somebody wants to confess because they need support in the chaos that they're finding themselves in. They want to reconnect with you because your intentions have always been pure. You're a very empathetic person who actually cares about people. The secret is they've got something huge they're dying to share with you. They're dying. Whatever is attached to them, whatever they're loyal to, this black hole soul is eating them alive. They need a small favor from you, And you are uninterested because you know that they're out for vengeance. They're not seeking help. They want to come in and destroy you. Because you survived their first attempt or the third attempt, or apparently every time you are the main attraction, you're the star of the show, and they keep doing this over and over and over again. Okay. This is a long one. Sorry, guys. So, those who've been messing around with the imagination of the billionaire that had all these ideas, it's called intellectual property for a reason. These people were here to elevate this particular family, this particular bloodline, to pull them up out of the density of their malevolent behaviors. And instead, they took the light that they were and they sank deeper into it. They don't have a safe space. The Emperor may be talking to the youngers, the pages, trying to find out trying to make a deal, trying to make an arrangement. He doesn't want to leave them behind. They're young, you know? But are they too far gone? I don't know. We've got a warning. They're being warned that what's to come, they will not have any safe spaces. They're being warned. They're receiving a warning. He wants to bring about peace. He wants to end this conflict, but somebody wants to try one more time. They're stuck in a fantasy in their head. They're coming forward as a Knight of Wands energy. They're very confident in their wand. This is an enemy, a simp, doing the most for somebody who cares the least. This demon, this black hole soul thing. They have no empathy for others, and they want to check in. They want to check in with somebody. They're using all their charm. Direction. They're using all their charm. They want to check in and go the way you're going, but this is an enemy. They want to hijack your path. They want to come in. See, you're about ready to take flight. You're going a new direction, and they want to check in as a charming little wand guy who is an enemy simp who lacks he has zero empathy for anybody. He wants to check in, and he wants to stop you. He wants to change your direction. He wants to get on your train. He wants to get aboard your chariot. He wants to control your pathway. You're soaring. So the Queen of Wands is here, determined to live her life, supported by the Most High God, who is dealing with the brutal dictator and this controlling family, who was creating tinfoil or conspiracy theories about people, and then convicting them, and then selling them into slavery because they were envious of them. So you are a being of love and peace, and all this negative energy is being released. You are soaring. You're getting out of here. You're riding high. You're getting out of Dodge, and these ones are the new slaves. There's a Ten of Cups union here, divine love for a high priestess, for those who have high morals, those who have purity in them. We've got a Queen of Pentacles here. Where did it go, Toby? Okay, so we've got a Queen of Pentacles here who failed to replace this High Priestess. She's in a nightmare. She's triggered. She got a letter in the mail or whatever. There's death to this collaboration. It could be that nobody is willing to work with her anymore. It could be that she and everybody that she collaborated with against this High Priestess has gotten a death sentence. We've got nature in the reverse. And let's see what nature says. 32. It is our connection to nature that fills our spirit and reunites us with divine energy. This person is not filled with divine energy. They're not filled by nature. They're not filled by the all that is. They are completely disconnected from divine energy. They're completely disconnected from divine energy. They've got this triggered tinfoil. They're a bunch of brutalizing liars, man. They've been falsely convicting people. They've been driving people into suffering circumstances and then convicting them, like Buffalo Soldier, like thou shalt not kill. Well, they created all this war, right? And then they brought in the Buffalo Soldier, forced him to fight for his life, and then convicted him for doing so. This is the kind of crap that this family was doing to people on a smaller or larger scale. Take it as it resonates, but it all wound up with them being slaves, sold to the merchant as a slave. Trickery and fraud. You've got a Knight of Cups coming in with a false offer because they're in extreme regret over working with this network. You and your friends are celebrating because they failed to feed you to the shadow demon, because you took care of your physical health in the best way that you could, given the toxic environment. Food, energy, everything was toxic, and you did your very best with courage and inner strength. You focused on the lighter side of life. You're laughing it off. You've got gifts, man, of the soul, and they were trying to strip you of it, and you wouldn't let go. You laughed. And there's a whole bunch of more reason coming up for you to laugh and smile. We've got moving forward. You're in your chariot. The Hierophant is bringing a disaster to this family. This is the end of this family. It's a scheduled time. There's a schedule here. Somebody's sad about it. Somebody is sad about it, that you have gained your wings and you're out of here. You don't ever have to deal with these people again. You're focused on the lighter side of life. They're told to stay in their own lane, and there's a whole bunch of gossip going on about isolation. It's like they won't even have each other to support each other. They're going to go be a solitary lone being suffering slavery all on their own, and nobody will help them. And if I'm feeling they're probably going to have to deal with mental disturbances and spiritual distractions. They're going to have to be energy harvested off and be low vibrational, sickly beings, just like everybody else was. I don't know. I'm not in charge of vengeance, and I'm so very grateful. But I do have an imagination. So we've got the Chariot here. You got a victory over those people who were casting illusions and wearing masks. They were trying to get your life of luxury. They were trying to tap into your fortune. You have expanded and grown in consciousness and awareness, and it's being announced that that lifestyle is for those who did the work and grew. These ones are unfriendly. They're having a hostile attitude. They're so freaking hostile, and they're being observed. Like everything they do is being observed. And they're trying to observe you. I don't know. It could be that they're unfriendly and hostile because they're being watched. Or maybe they want to spy on you now. They're stalking somebody. They're stalking somebody in Washington, in the United States. Whether it be Washington, I don't know what Washington it is, but there you go. So they're being watched. They're very unfriendly and they're hostile, and they're being watched while they're watching you. So we've got some history here. You've always been innocent, Temperance Angel. You never did anything to deserve this. It's time for you to rest and heal, to recuperate from this damage. These trolls are lazy. They were impatient for reward. They didn't want to walk the walk. They just wanted to go and have a good time and pretend that they were that while wearing your energy. They're sick now because they've been cut off. This troll wants to be friends, but you're not accepting any apologies. They're not offering an apology. You don't want to look. This is a pretender. They're faking it. They want to come in as a friend, but it's a fraudulent thing. They're not a friend. They're not apologizing for pretending to be you or anybody else. They don't care. They're not apologizing. They're not sorry. But this troll still wants to be friends. They were pretending to be your friend. You got a Queen of Pentacles here who's looking at the history of tapping into people's dream states and giving these pleasure seekers your sacral energy through a midnight dream loving party. This was her business. And she's desperate right now. They're going to prison. They were targeting people who cared for themselves and who had inwardly balanced energy. They were coming in as a dream lover, harvesting that sacral energy and then using that balanced self-care energy to fuel their own magic and power up their own lives. And she did it for profit. She opened up the doors of the minds of innocent people while they were sleeping in their beds, and she brought in these little hoe bags seeking pleasure, like the little Mickey Mouse Swiss cheese makers, to give somebody an O, so that they could get a payout, an energetic payout. Make me sick. They were tapping into people's sacred spaces, their most sacred energy, their root and their sacral energy. These things of people who take care of themselves and are balanced inwardly in their own personal lives and in their family lives. They targeted married people as midnight lovers and took their energy and dressed them up as though they were a prostitute, a whore who was unfaithful to their family, and then convicted them of such. You're shining a light. There's difficult decisions being made regarding this 10 of Pentacles inheritance. We've got lying, cheating, thieving, scammers, indulgent lovers who are actually thieves. And you've got a priest here who was aware of it all, needing consolation from the Lord. The Lord is pissed. You've got gifts that benefit yourself and others of the soul. He's taken the land back. You're getting the land back. He likes the way you see the world. He likes the way you live your life. You're getting the land back. And these ones are afraid. They're in great fear. This priest is in great fear. They're a thief and they're bad. Bad, bad, bad. They're making preparations to become the new fodder. They're going to get devoured by whatever this black hole soul is that they've been feeding the family of the Lord to. So there's risk here. There's risk here. Whatever it was, they were trying to bring you risk, but it's washing right off of you. Like whatever risk, whatever magic they're trying to hit you with right now that's to cause risk to you, you're just out there playing, da 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 da. It's rolling right off of you because you're in an anomaly. You're this bright and shining being. Your energy is too high. Their low vibrational hate magic can't stick to you. They're being released out of the community. They're being kicked out. They're being exiled. And you're coming into abundance. And they're receiving wrath here for what they've done to heart bonds, to loyal, loving unions, coming in the dream state as a fake lover, harvesting that energy, calling them a prostitute, a whore, falsely accusing people with these tinfoil hat conspiracy theories. They destroyed marriages. They're in upheaval. Everything's coming apart. They're needing to survive. This Hierophant, the Most High God, has got them in a tower. They are screwed for causing illusions within the territory. Stealing people's goods while they were being distracted with trickery. They're being displaced for their upside down perspectives. These are ghosts. They're actually dead. They don't produce any energy inside of them. They've just been needlessly feeding on those who do. Their own self-interest. They were eating you, your energy, your vital force. People don't live long these days. Why? Because you got too many vampires out there feasting on your life force. You are protected now. You're protected from negative influences and scavengers. They're trying to offer a resistance here in this battle. They're going in, they're trying to telepathically communicate with others. They're astral traveling, remote viewing into other people's houses. They're trying to see who they might be able to offer a Knight of Cups false love union offer to, so that they can bring mischief with the Knight to people who are balanced. But you have insight into this. They have been exposed. They only intend to dominate people from a distance. These are people who come into the dream state, into the astral realms. They offer a connection and then they never show up. They just dominate the energy. But you've got luck. You're gonna, look, abundance is raining down on you because you have grown. Because you have grown so extensively. And you have a whole team here that is anticipating leaving. They've got their freedom here for what they have withstood throughout the history, the routine history that they were doing, bringing them grief, bringing grief to the whole community. Oh yeah, this family is messed up. This is the end of their family line. I'm serious. It's being wiped out. It's being wiped out of history. The whole entirety of this family line is being eliminated. It will cease to exist. It'll be as though it never did. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and leave this one here. I hope that it clarifies something that you already intuitively knew. And I'll see you on the next one, everybody. Bye.